Hello, everyone, and welcome to our session where we're going to focus on all things customer data platforms. I'll just quickly walk you through what we're going to do here today. I'm walking you through just what the heck is a CDP, some CDP basics, fundamentals about what it is, and then I'm very pleased to have Wendy Mutis from LIDS join us, and she's going to walk through a number of use cases of how she's leveraging Acquia CDP and getting value from the platform. My name is Karen Wood. I'm the Senior Director of Product Marketing here at Acquia with a focus on Acquia Marketing Cloud and Acquia CDP. And like I said, I'm joined by Wendy Mutis from LIDS. Wendy, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself?
There, I got it. Thanks, Karen. Wendy Mutis, VP of Marketing at LIDS, and have been with Acquia for a few years now. So looking forward to sharing some of the ways we've been using the tools.
Excellent. So I'll start with a very high-level introduction just so everyone's familiar about, again, what a CDP actually does, and then you'll hear from Wendy who will talk about how you actually can use it. So CDPs have come to become a very prominent tool within the digital marketing ecosystem, really as a rise out of lots of different challenges that have emerged for marketing and data leaders. Uncoordinated channels where data exists in all of these different silos. The systems that engage with customers are disconnected from each other. There's uncorrelated and unresolved data across all of these different systems. There's no single view of the customer that really gives a marketer a true understanding of who that customer is across all of those touch points. And that limited insight limits the ways that marketers can engage with customers in a coordinated, orchestrated way across all of these different touch points. And the root cause reason of that is really those disconnected systems. In this example, you can see a couple of just things off the top of how this comes to be. This is a classic architecture of someone who does not yet have their data all in one place. In this case, you can see e-commerce data, POS and inventory data, CRM data, that's all going into a data lake where it sits, and then you have to manually pull that out to run, to pull lists, to run email and direct mail campaigns. We've got digital ad campaigns running off their own data sets, web personalization running off of its own data set. And this is just like a classic problem of how do you bring that data together so that you really do have that holistic view of the customer. So at Acquia, the way that we've built Acquia Marketing Cloud is really with the foundation of CDP at the center of it. So all of those interactions, all of the ways that you're engaging with customers really come off of a cleansed, deduped, stitched and enriched view of the customer into a single persistent ID that's leveraged for all analysis and leveraged for action and engagement. The way that Gartner defines it is really it does three things. It provides that foundation of cleansed, intelligent customer data. It supplies analytics, giving brands, people like Wendy, a really great insight into their customer. And then, of course, it activates the data so that you can use that data every way that you engage with that customer. So that's CDP 101, basically what it is. I will turn things over to Wendy and she can talk about how she's been using Acquia CDP at LIDS.
Thanks, Karen. So if you want to go to the next slide.
Yep, sorry. There we go.
So just real briefly, just wanted to talk about LIDS. We are, a North American retailer. We have over 1,000 stores across US and Canada. We're the leading headwear retailer in America. Plus, we're known for being very on trend, exclusives. We have very good home of the fitted and, knowledgeable associates that can, help people find the headwear that they want. And then obviously we're online as well. I'm gonna go to the next one. So I wanted to talk a little bit about the loyalty program and really why, originally we had chosen to go with Acquia. So loyalty drives our business, and we were able to learn a lot about our customer when they're part of our loyalty program. And so we have two levels, a free and a paid version. free version, you just give us your email address when you make a transaction, and then you're collecting points and earning points for rewards, which you can then use in store to buy product. And then we have a premium version that is, $5 a year, and it gets you an ongoing discount on, headwear and apparel. And then you earn points twice as fast. So we have a really high capture rate of email in our stores. 46% is listed here. Some stores are well above that. And it's really phenomenal for us to be able to capture all of that data. But where we had the opportunity for improvement was we had all of this data, and we really didn't have a consolidated way to use the data. So it was going into a database, it wasn't getting deduped, and we weren't able to extract things without the assistance of IT pulling SQL queries, and it just wasn't usable data. It was great data, just not usable. If you want to go to the next one. So the CDP, so we came to realize, this is a few years ago, we came to realize that we needed something better than what we had. And so we went through a process of evaluating a lot of different CDPs. We wanted to be able to leverage that data to push into marketing campaigns, either through email or, paid opportunities on the digital side through, either Google or social. And we wanted to have a kind of a one view of our customers. So in our existing database, we had just tons of duplicates. And so it looked like we had more customers than we really had. And so we wanted to be able to see that, single view of the customer, and be able to use that data at the marketing level, without having to have IT resources every time we had a question. And so we went through this process of trying to figure out who we wanted to go with. And we evaluated a lot of different CDPs. And so Acquia really came out as top class. They were really knowledgeable about retail and omni-channel and just everything that we needed. They had a great interface, and so they clearly became the winner, and we went with Acquia CDP. You want to go to the next one? So this is really just talking about when we went through that process of, transitioning into the Acquia CDP from our existing database, and kind of those raw files that came through, where there was over 53 million raw files. Once we got it into the system, they gave us this really great, hey, you've got 25 million, a little over 25 million customers, and we've consolidated them so that you now have a single view of the customer. And so it gave us a lot of insight that we needed into, how that marketable database and how big it really was. So in the implementation, this is just a touch on the implementation. If you're looking at getting a CDP, or maybe you already have one and you're considering Acquia, the implementation was very smooth. It was clear that they were very knowledgeable. They helped lead us into making those decisions as far as what do we need in the database, what do we want, to be able to do with that data, and really just came with a lot of reports that were already written, or just things that they've already done that just put us right in and using that data from day one. So it was very, very easy implementation. So just some examples of what we do with the data in the CDP. Defining audiences is really critical for us. As you can imagine, Lids is a retailer of a lot of team sports. And so if you're, a Cubs fan and we're sending you Yankees stuff, it's really not engaging with you. And so we have all of these different leagues and teams and preferences. If you like fitted hats and you don't like snapbacks, we really want to know all about you. And then, or if you prefer to shop in store versus online, or maybe you're an omni-channel, or maybe you're online only, these are all the things that we can know about our database because of this tool. And then we can leverage that to build audiences and then push those into our different channels to market to. So This became very critical, as stores had to close because of COVID, and then we started opening stores back up. It was really easy for us to segment, buying preferences for stores that had just recently opened, and then communicate to them that these stores are now open, or seeing that they're not shopping in store, and so they're only online, and so we change our messaging based on that. And so then in addition to that, so besides the product and the team preferences and the buying preference, whether in-store, online, or omni-channel, we also could do some win-back strategies. So we could look at customers who maybe had a gap of time or they hadn't made a purchase. And so we wanted to give them an incentive to come back and, make a purchase. Or we could look at loyalty members and understand, this is somebody that has a premium membership and it's about to expire, or they're one hat away from, earning a reward in store. And so we want to remind them of those with some triggered sends. And then the predictive audiences that, the CDP brings to us with the machine learning helps us understand, hey, here's a bucket of people that we think, based on the machine learning, that they're going to purchase within the next 30 days. You probably want to communicate to them. So these are really great things that we've been able to do once we got our customer data into this tool. So I touched on this before, but really just to give you some examples of what this means. Any segmenting we do with the customers, which basically means we can segment on any data point that we have put into the system about the customer. It could be that they only buy yellow products, or they're a size 8. And so we have a bunch of size 8 hats that, we want to market to. Anything like that, anything about the customer, we can create into an audience. And so then what we do with that audience is we push those into targeted email sends or targeted paid digital campaigns. And so it allows us to then see our offline conversions. And so if we send them an email, they open the email, and then they go in store and they make a purchase, and they give us their email address when they check out, it all comes full circle, and we're able to see that this email influenced a buying purchase in store. The same thing happens on our paid digital side, and those are with some native integrations that the CDP has with, Facebook or, ads manager or Google. And it allows us to just seamlessly, that data is getting pushed back to them as customers purchase in store. And so if Facebook or Instagram has served them an ad and they made a purchase in store, it's attributing that to that ad. And then we're able to see the ROI on our digital activities for our in-store purchases, which has been incredibly important for us as we, as we support our stores. It's easier for us to make decisions on our marketing dollars based on return. So in addition to that, the CDP allows us to do some get insights through metrics. And so, there's the segmenting side where you build audiences and you can push those into channels. And then there's the metrics side, which is really an exciting piece that I love because it's very intuitive. I can go in and build things. If I want to answer a question about something, it's really easy for me to go in, and myself or anybody on my team can go in and put these things together, basically just with a UI that's simple to use. And so I can look at, do I want to see how our loyalty levels are spending? Have we shifted from online to in-store or vice versa? Do we have, what's our audience look like for a Lakers win? Or, potentially now we have Dodgers and Rays. So I want to see what's the potential for the customer base within those two teams. Do I want to look at gender? There's an assumed gender that's in there that allows me to see, what our split is on the customer base from gender. Are there people that only buy when there's a promotion or an incentive? So really any metrics that we want are available, and it's just as easy as building them within the UI. Okay, so I touched on this already, but this is really this really neat view of the customer that we use on our team and in customer care. That if we have somebody calls in, or there's a complaint, or there's something, we need to look up a customer. We have somebody who is a valued customer we want to see. kind of their history, there's a really great single view of the individual customer in the tool. You just go in, you can type in an email or a name, it pulls them up, you look at it, and it gives you this great visual of their journey, how they interact with your advertising, what products they buy, and just their lifetime value, which I really like this feature from a visual standpoint and an ease of use standpoint, especially on the customer service side. So we've been using the CDP for a few years now, and an opportunity came up with the power of putting the power of the CDP with the email solution from Acquia, and so this is kind of what we're currently working on right now, is implementing this into our CDP. So basically combining the CDP with the email solution so that it's a seamless interaction. Right now we're pushing that audience into a third party, but this will be all inclusive. And so we'll be able to send email right from building audiences in the CDP, and then that return data will all come in there. And so we'll be able to see everything in one view. So we're very excited about this because it'll allow us to do simpler segmenting and email campaigns that then we see the return very quickly, all within the same tool.
That was excellent stuff, Wendy. Thanks so much for walking through that. I think we do have time for some questions, so I'll start, and then if anyone on the audience would like to ask Wendy a question, please go ahead. I would love to hear from you about what it was like to align your teams around the concept of a CDP and what it took to really bring the organization along through this, concept of using a customer data platform, and just what that process was like.
Yeah, so I mean, the IT team was very excited about it, and they were involved with with all of the research and putting together what we needed. And then other teams have been, that they like that ease of view and being able to pull reports very quickly. And then on my team itself, there was just tremendous relief in being able to use this data. And so the training was so simple. Like, I've been through a lot of technology training, and this one was probably the easiest one I've been through. And so the team really, it was not hard to convince somebody to want to use this tool, because it's, you can immediately see the impact of using it, and you can see the ease of being able to pull things. And considering we were coming from having to involve IT and write SQL queries to get information out, being able to just, click and put together a report very simply was phenomenal. And so there wasn't a lot of convincing on the marketing side of using this tool.
Wonderful. Here's a question that came in on the chat, if you don't mind. The question is, you mentioned the feature of customer lifecycle value. What's been the most important finding with this access to customer data?
So one thing, like, we've been able to look at kind of our top customers, people that repeatedly buy from us, or, we've been able to segment out bulk buyers. And so that was something we didn't have a lot of visibility into, people that come into the store and they're buying a lot of product, maybe it's clearance product, things like that. And so that's a whole audience that really we didn't have visibility into. And so now we are able to segment them out. So if there is an opportunity with inventory or things like that, we can connect with that group. The other side of it is just really looking at the top customers that come in repeatedly, and then finding ways to reward them for that repeat business. And so when I look at, this person has really top value, maybe they had a bad experience online or in store, or, there's something that we know that this is an important customer to us. And so we want to make sure we take care of them. We've seen that side, but then on the other side, we've seen the opportunity to engage with them, potentially as an influencer, or, someone that is really a big fan of the brand. Maybe there's a way to leverage them in our marketing.
I think we have time for one more question, so I'll go ahead and ask this one that just came in. So the question is, if you discover something new about a customer, a new data point that you want to leverage for targeting, how long do you need how long does it take before you can send that email to consumers? So I guess the question is kind of from insight to activation. What does that process look like?
If I understand the question correctly, if I want to segment a new audience, I could do that now, and assuming I have creative for the campaign created, I could push that out within minutes. I mean, it's a very, very simple process.
Excellent. Well, I believe that brings us to the end of time. Wendy, thank you so much for joining our conversation today and sharing your story with me. All of you, thanks for attending, and enjoy the rest of your day. Thanks again.
Thank you.